Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. Let's talk about, is it too early to plant? Well, guys, that's going to depend on a lot of factors. Here in southeast Louisiana, I noticed that Monday they are predicting 36 degrees. Okay, so we all know that frost hits at about 34, 33 degrees, right above when water would freeze at 32 degrees. Okay, so when I say it depends on a lot of things, I really do. I'm located in zone 9A/9B, southeast Louisiana. My garden is on a slope that ends by a pond. So what I have learned by working with what I have is that my property will be hit with a frost faster than other people, even in my community. And the reason being, cold air goes low, okay? It's colder closer to the ground than it is, say, the top of my head at 5'6" above the ground. It's warmer here than at the soil. So when you're talking about being on a slope or being in an area where the north wind can hit directly into your garden, like I'm open at the north end. So I have to take all that into consideration. Is it still too early to plant? It was 89 degrees last week. Fast forward 9 days, it's supposed to be 36, which means my yard in this area that I'm standing right now will be crunchy with frost when I wake up Tuesday morning. So for me, it is too early to plant. So when you're hearing people say, I've got my tomatoes, I've got my bell peppers, my cucumbers, my pumpkins, my zucchinis, my gourds, my loofahs, all these, my okra, bell peppers, jalapenos, all these sun-loving, heat-loving plants already in their gardens, you have to consider, is it a raised bed? Because sometimes the soil will stay warmer in a raised bed than if you're directly planted into the ground. You have to consider, where are they located? Are they on a slope? Are they by water? Is the north end of their garden totally open to the wind that's going to come rushing down and into this garden on Tuesday morning? You also have to consider that even if it gets down to 34, 33 degrees where they're located, they get a little frost, their plants will probably be okay. But what will most likely happen, the plants are very small, they could die. If the plants are large enough and they have blooms, they'll lose their flowers, which is going to set them back. They could also weaken their plants. And if you watch any of our videos on a regular basis, I tell you guys all the time, when your plant is weak, it invites pest. It invites disease, because now the plant is weak, it's in shock. And like a human body that's in shock, you're running a high risk of other things happening to it to cause it to die. So I know this video is short. I know you guys are just dying to get your food into the ground, but you need to be a little patient. There is a reason the old timers always said, wait till around Easter, wait till Good Friday, just wait. It's okay. If you're in my area, the zones of 9A, 9B, you have an extremely long growth season. I mean, we really do. We have a very, very long growth season. There's no rush. Your plants will do just fine if you put them in April 1st or May 1st, and you're avoiding the possibility of that last minute cold front moving in, guys. I have a 1/4 acre market garden, no till. I don't want to spend the 4 days it takes me to plant that garden and then realize last minute that I screwed up. And now my plants are weak and disease is coming and the pests are coming. I lose my blossoms and my blooms. I'll just wait. Now, I did want to share real quick some updated information from some past videos we just did. I want to show you guys, I did a video on quick tips on seeding your plants and how to get them to germinate faster just a few days ago. And I'm super excited. So let me show you how ours are looking today. So you can see we definitely have some germination going on here. Like I said, I'm super excited about it. I knew it would help to cover it with the plastic, but it really does, guys, because the temperature, here's another one right here. The temperature is dropping at night. And so this is really gonna, there's another one. Our seedlings are really coming up. So I wanted to show you guys, there are ways to get your plants to germinate a little faster. If you didn't catch that video, please do. Now let's take a walk to the chicken garden so I can show you how that garden is growing. You guys know I'm always talking about ways to reduce the inputs and the cost of running a homestead, a farmstead, or a farm. Now, a lot of people told me, I'm a homestead, I'm not a farm. That's okay, guys. Doesn't matter how or what you call yourself, but you need to be self-sustainable. It's a big deal. I know you guys have been hearing from other homesteading and prepping sites that banks are crashing, and they are. And that's the reality of what we live in. But we don't need other people's products to feed our animals. We really don't. So what you're looking at behind me is our new chicken garden. This is the chicken run, okay? So this was totally depleted last year. These guys had eaten everything. And they do a lot of free range roaming here. But this year I've decided, due to predator pressure, even though we have livestock guardian, and due to the fact that I no-till and they love, everybody knows this, chickens love to dig up mulch. I need these guys to be a little more self-contained. I don't want to be digging in the woods for eggs in spring and summer and fall in Louisiana and dealing with the snakes. There's no point in that. I need to sell these eggs. I need to incubate them. I need my moms to be broody hens. And I can't do that if I can't buy my eggs, right? So what we've done here is they compost in their chicken coop, okay? So when I release them April 1st into what's growing out here, I will go remove everything that's in their coop right now because that's not dirt. That is compost. I've been making it since fall of last year. All of that will transfer out to the garden, and that is what I will plant in. It is rabbit, quail, chicken manure. So I have reduced the need of going to buy fertilizers or compost from anyone. Plus, this is going to reduce my chicken feed cost to almost zero. And in a pinch, it will feed them. Let me turn the camera around. I'm going to show you guys what's actually growing in here. So what you're seeing is a mix of turnip, beet, oats. We have a zucchini in the corner over there. We have a squash coming up over here. There are tomato seeds. There are carrot seeds. There is basil, lemon balm. All of that is planted out here, guys. Now, I'm not going to let my ladies out until April 1st because I need the root systems on these plants to be established enough that they can't pull the entire plant out the ground. All they can do is remove a leaf, and that'll grow back. As these plants grow taller and become more established, they're going to bring in pests, especially when they begin flowering and fruiting. All right, so we all know chickens are omnivores. So as the pests come in, as the beneficials come in, the chickens will have a protein source. After I accidentally put the pitchfork through my foot, spent a couple of days in the hospital, had to have foot surgery, was off my feet for almost 6 weeks, I realized I needed a better system. You never know when something's going to happen. I surely did not intend to stab myself with a pitchfork, guys, and literally pin myself to the ground. Like, that was not in my cards, in my mind, but it happened. So, having said that, let me highly encourage you, if you have a chicken coop and an area that you would like to turn into a run, go ahead and get it seeded. You can't get your plants in your garden per se, but you can definitely plant for them because it's not a big deal if I lose some of this to a frost. In fact, the majority of what's growing in here is kind of a spring, early spring mix anyway. Also, I meant to tell you guys, I threw some flowering plants in here and some other herbs, and I'm super excited because, like I'm telling you, what's really going to happen with this is it's going to provide many types of nutrients, different nutrients to my girls. And when all of these turnips and beets are finished, I will actually feed that to the rabbits. So this is called sustainable loop systems. This is what I keep telling you guys. You've got to think outside the box. You can't fight the weather. Don't always know what's coming next. But what you can do, you can prepare yourself to be outside of the consumer loop. That's all I want for you guys. I want you to see your vision out. I want you guys to be successful with what you're doing. But sometimes we set ourselves up to fail because in our mind it can only be one way. I have to feed a pellet to my rabbits. I have to feed a pellet to my chickens, and therefore you simply won't grow them a garden. There is nothing better than a natural food diet for you or your livestock, your dogs or your cats. And guys, I'm telling you, I really am. When you begin to feed them more healthy, because food is medicine, their meat is healthier, their eggs are healthier, they're happy. They're doing what chickens are supposed to do. So you guys be blessed. You might not be able to get out there, and I highly advise that you don't put food in the ground, but you can prepare food for your chickens and your rabbits now. So if you want a garden, maybe garden for them first, then garden for you second. You guys have a blessed day. I hope this helps you make up your mind on whether or not it's time to get plants in the ground.